Guys and Dolls, Freedom Dad's channel here. I'm just still researching. Things are moving really fast, and there's quite a lot of stuff going about, and this situation in Londonderry, Derry. And don't think I'll get too much out of control. Hopefully, they've got it nipped in the bud. But yeah, it has reared up quite a few old wounds for people, So I'm just going to talk about it. So I'm going to give you my opinion on it, but I'm going to wait these come in and, say hello to each other as you do, so do your Waltons thing as always. So hello, who's in? Let me know if the sound's okay as always, please. Good evening, brother. How you doing, Eddie? Give us a thumbs up for the sound, mate, will you? All right, John, James, Top Cat, good, happy days. Just wait for a few to get in. You can say hello to each other if you want, like. Might need to find me other glasses to read these comments. So give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay, guys. Yeah, just wait for a few to get in. I'm a wee bit early, I was got a couple of minutes early, so I do. Got this wee light on top of my selfie stick, going all pro on that, guys, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's been quite a day, quite busy. Phones non-stop, seeing people. Funny story to tell you. I'll remind me about the funny story. Moderators are all in, yeah, so yeah, I think we might need some moderators in it, but we'll see how it goes. Like I say, guys, people have got to write the opinion, as long as they're not being rude or like hating. Hating's no good for them, okay? So, we're doing them a favour, so no haters, That's all it is. We don't want to hate. If you can't get your point across without being hateful, then you're no good, you know what I mean? We're not putting, it's not about me, you know what I mean? I've got thick skin. It's my community, you know what I mean? It's having respect for the rest of the people that are watching it and reading the comments and stuff like that. And that's what it's about. That's what the moderators are there for. They're there just to make sure that you don't suffer any ill words. And, like I say, I never get to see them anyway because they normally get rid of them quite sharply. And for some reason, you see them before I do. So just letting a few people get in. Hope you're all good. I'll need to change my glasses. Okay. I'm just going to have to let the comments come up. I've missed a couple of comments, guys, so if you want to say something there, stick it up. Just give me 2 seconds with my glasses are on. Okay. Yes, Freedom Dad. Risley. Oh, did you get your bag? Don't talk me. I don't know about the bag. Hi, Freedom Dad, and all people speaking from Drummer Duck. I watch a channel called Brain Freeze. Everybody cool, you're talking to each other. Good. Say hello to each other, guys. Do your Waltons thing. So yeah, evening everybody. Sean Murray. So hello, Paz. While based at Ballycally for 2 years, Londonderry was one place we were forbidden to go. Socialising in Big No was the Rave Cave in Limavady, Coleraine and Portrush instead. Good times. The old times are always the good times, guys. Welcome in, Paz. Good to see you. So yeah, as you know, guys, I am going to refer to Londonderry /Derry, so I can be inclusive. I am dealing with some flack at the minute, as you can imagine, and I'm going to try and keep my calm and try not to get too angry about it because, I'm an open platform for people to come on and live debate me anytime. I've always said that. I've always opened it up to the left. I've opened it up to anybody that disagrees with me about immigration, about what I believe, what's going on. The things that I say, 500 videos, no script, no edited, straight out there. And if you disagree with me, get in contact with me. Say you'll debate me online. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll maybe learn something from it. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to start digging people out, and calling people out and what's going on in my personal life right now and what people are, like videos that are going up, you know what I mean? And it is pretty nasty stuff. I'm not going to point any fingers to anybody, you know what I mean? Like I say, it's coming from one side so far, and I'm not going to say what side because it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be coming from any side. You know what I mean? And like I say, sides, yes, we have sides in this country, and we need to get used to that. That's how we're going to start talking from now on. There's one side and there's another side. So at the minute in Londonderry, we have a situation where the story is, but this is what is coming from the Catholic side of things. 2 or 3 Catholics, or 2 Catholics, were going into an area that was a mixed area, Protestants and Catholics, a new build. That's what is coming from the horse's mouth. And was meeting, so 2 Catholics were going in to meet another 2 Catholics, and 2 Protestants appeared and said, what are you doing in here? You don't come from here, right? This is a new build, apparently, right? So then 40 men came and beat these 2 kids up, okay? And there's video, right? We haven't seen the video yet. We've seen a still of kids fighting. That's all we've seen so far. So in retaliation for that, can you bring up the stuff that's happened in the Protestant area? Now, it doesn't really my heart goes out. Before going any further, I want to say to the mother and the father and all the family of the children here, whatever age they were, young men, teenagers, that have been hurt or injured in any way, because we don't know what the injuries are. I've seen a picture of a boy with a bloody nose, but if there's 40 men beating up 2 kids, I'd imagine they're pretty much hurt. So we're trying to check the news to find out what's going on and see if they're that hurt, you know what I mean? Because we are concerned about them, you know what I mean? It's a really dangerous time. We've got the marching season come up. This is the last thing we need. The video of the thing. So I can't get it. Sorry, guys. I had a video of it. I was going to put it up. Is it on the WhatsApp? Oh, no, the video of the paint bombing. So there was a video. The Catholics went in and paint bombed the Loyalist area, one of the murals, and attacked buses because of this. Right. So, this is what happens. This is what we're used to. This is Northern Ireland, guys. And this is normal stuff in the 80s and the 90s. Okay? This is the 80s, 90s. Now, in the 80s and 90s, if something like this had happened, has happened, then if 2 children or kids or teenagers get attacked by 40 men in a Protestant or a mixed area, I don't know many mixed areas that this happens to. It's normally like, at the border. It's normally in between areas. And, before it was, there was a chance somebody would have been killed. You know what I mean? A tit for tat carry on. So I'm going to show you a video of what's going about at the minute. If I can do this right. So this is a Catholic area throwing stones at the bus going in the Protestant area. That's a mural in a Loyalist area being attacked. Again, this is not unusual. This is Northern Ireland. This is what we've been dealing with for the last 30, 40 years. But the thing is, this is what you've got to understand right now. This is what's going on. All of a sudden, Freedom Dad's in Dublin, okay? We've got Protestants and Catholics coming together in Belfast. And all of a sudden, we've got paramilitaries in communities in our area right now ordering their young men to go out and do these things. These young boys were all dressed in black, head to toe. This was organised and it was sanctioned from the top. Okay? Now listen to what I'm saying before you all jump on your high horse. I was one of them young men. I was there, 11, 12, 13-year-old, getting sent out to petrol bomb, do things. That's what we done. Men used the younger ones to go out and start trouble in the streets. Triggers, right? We know that. We've lived this. This is what we know. This is Northern Ireland. So we've got a situation in Northern Ireland right now where we're caught between Ireland and England, Scotland and Wales. Now I can tell you this. England is gone. England is gone. If you don't believe me, go over there yourselves. Go and visit Sheffield, Birmingham, Oldham, Rotherham, Luton. Go and visit them. Go right you in there in them city centres and you tell me if England isn't gone. Go into London, right? You go into Ireland, go into Dublin, go into any city now, go into Letterkenny and Donegal and walk about there and just ask the locals how they're doing, okay? So we're stuck in the middle of that. And right now we've got an awakening of patriots that are coming together to try and make sure that we fix our country and everything's okay in the next 20, 30 or 40 years so our children are all right in this country when we are no longer here. Because we're the last hope for our kids. So here we've got a situation, right? And like I've said, we have collaborators on both sides that are working for the state. And when I say the state, I'm not talking about the Irish state or the British state. I'm talking about something above that. Somebody that's driving stuff in England and Ireland that it's unbelievable. A driving force that's coming into this country and is absolutely decimating our cultures, the freedoms of the women that walk on our streets, the safety of our children. England, Scotland, Wales, 50 grooming gangs. Okay, maybe they weren't all Muslim, Pakistani. Maybe there was 2 of them grooming gangs that were white, but the rest were Pakistani, Muslim, or I don't know, some other part of a Muslim country. It's all there, it's documented. We've got their names. You can read the transcripts from all the trials. 50 cities, 1,400 girls from one town, right? Now, let me tell you something, guys. They're coming from Scotland through to England, over to here, jumping into Dublin. Dublin's getting full up. They're getting enough. You've seen that, 50, 60,000 Irishmen. That's what I wasn't down there for the fun of my health. I was down there to find out how they were feeling, what they were doing about it, and what's going on. I needed to listen to the speakers to hear what they were saying. And it was an eye-opener, an absolute eye-opener. Every time in our history, we have been triggered, okay? Now, I know for a fact that Sinn Féin have sold their soul. When I was down in Ireland, they were shouting Sinn Féin out. Sinn Féin have no support in Ireland. Gone, right? There's no two ways about it. And we've got men now sending their young men out, dressing them all out in black, has militarised and attacking murals. Right? Whether these 2 young boys have been really badly injured, God forbid they have. God forbid they have. And I'm dreading to see the video comes. I'm absolutely dreading it as a Protestant, that guys can't go into one of our areas like that and they're going to be attacked by 40 men. See, I can't understand that because I live in Belfast and that would not happen where we are. We would not attack young Catholics. We would not do that. Them days are long gone, okay? So it's quite convenient all of a sudden when we're talking about peace and we're trying to come together, we've got things going on in Londonderry. So what I'm trying to tell you is now you need to start looking at the people who are controlling these young men and ask them exactly what they're doing and why they're doing it. We've got community leaders in every community now. There's bridges set up. When we were in the jails in 1988, in the Crumlin Road prison, when I was 18 years old, leading Republicans, your top men were coming into our exercise yard and talking to our top men in the corner. Communication, because we were in the jail and we needed to communicate with each other. The following week, our leaders would go into your exercise yard with 20, 50, 60, maybe 100 Republicans and meet with your leaders in your exercise yard in your corner because we had to communicate. So we know how to communicate. We're still doing it. And we need to communicate, because what's going on in England and what's going on in Ireland, we need to make sure it doesn't go on here. Because I've got a 6-month-old daughter. I'm 55 years old and I don't know how long I've got left. And I'm generally heartbroken for this country, because I know what's coming. I know what's coming, because we've got the politicians that are taking the green. They're taking the money, and they don't care, because they're not invested. They've got place. They can go wherever they want. Us working class kids can't go anywhere. And one other thing, it's the working class kids that's suffering. It isn't the affluent areas that they're taking the kids from, the leafy suburbs. It isn't the people with money. It's our working class kids who are getting put in the children's home because of addictions and alcoholism. So we've got politicians running us that are private schoolboys. They've never experienced life. They don't know what it's like to live in the hardships in the working class areas, what we've had to put up with mental health. Most of our families on boxes of medication, and now we've got kids on the street throwing at the buses coming up to the 12th of July, and you just don't think it's all happening for a reason, guys. My message to everybody, guys, and I will get to your comments, I will give everybody a right to reply, but my message to everybody is, wind your necks in. You've got to see what's going on here. We're being divided again, because they know we're waking it up in Northern Ireland. They're looking at the Union Jacks, the Red Hand, the Ulsters and the Tricolours in Belfast, and they're seeing a loyalist in Dublin amongst all you patriots, and nothing, no harm, nothing but love. You've seen the interviews, guys shouting, Belfast boys, you are welcome here, and the people at the top are going, oh my God. Because when we come together, they are terrified of us, and that's why we're going to see attacks. And I'm telling you all now, you all have all got to be on your toes. Because we don't know who's on our side. We don't know who really loves our country. We see what Sinn Féin have done. Remember, Sinn Féin they're the saviours, all guys. They were your heroes. The Sinn Féin / IRA were your heroes. And now you are singing Sinn Féin out. Come on. We've got the same problems. We've got politicians that aren't there for us. They've never been there for us. We have the same problems as you. But we are awake. We can see them. Follow the money. We know who they are. You have got people, you guys in Donegal have got Nile. You've got to get behind men like that. There is always going to be factions of Republicans, diehard, and the loyalists. The romanticism of the past that they cannot leave behind. And you can't fault some of them for it. They've lived and breathed it, and it's difficult just to drop. You know what I mean? But we're not asking you to drop it. We're asking you just to set it down gently and let's go forward. We can remember each other's past. We can get on really fine. Please believe me. If any Republican and any loyalist was ever locked in a cell like I was in England, you would get on fine. I promise you that. 110%. Any Catholic from any area and any Protestant from any area, you put them in a room together and they sit down, they have a chat, they will get on fine. Because you know why they'll get on fine? Because we're all Christians. We are all Christians. And right now, Christians are being abused in their thousands, and their working class children in England, and it's all being covered up by the social work, by the police and by the government. Tommy Robinson is landing, whether you like him or not, he's landing in jail and solitary confinement. He's been doing this for 15 years. He tried to warn us 15 years ago, and that's why they silenced him. He couldn't get on Facebook. He couldn't get on anywhere. When it was Twitter, he had no platforms. He had to sit there and silenced by the government, while everybody called him a far-right racist. But yet nobody can see or find anything he's ever said that's far-right or racist. Isn't that mental? Look at it. We've got that. This is the time of when the knowledge is power. You've got the internet. Just research it. Find me anything he said that's far-right or racist. It was he was uniting colours 15 years ago. His best friends were blacks, Sikhs and Muslim, But yet the government were able to use the racist rhetoric, and not me, but quite a lot of people believed it. And now when everybody woke up and realised he's not a racist, what have they done? They've took him off the street and put him in the prison. You know why he's in prison? Because they hope he's going to get. They're hoping that they're going to kill him in there, because they almost already killed him. But this isn't about Tommy Robinson. This is about Northern Ireland. This is about our beautiful country, the beautiful country of Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, the most beautiful part of the world. Please believe me, we have got a gem here. We have got a gem. Okay, and we're going to lose it. The Irish are going to lose their part. Us Ulstermen are going to lose our part, and the Republicans in the 6 counties, you are going to lose what you are fighting for. Our kids are going. We're not going to lose it. They're going to let us think that we're going to be doing whatever we want. You know what I mean? But when we're gone, it's going to be down to our kids It's going to be our kids that's going to be defending this Greenland, okay? And see, when that time comes, that's when everything will come together. But it will be too late. It will be far too late. But I guarantee you, one day, this country will come together because it will be Christians. Christians. Comments, guys. Go for it. Thank you, Kathy. Amen. Thanks. It's not too late. Yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger than a power multi. It's bigger than anything we know. I've said this already in one of my videos. It's bigger than the 12th of July. It's bigger than the Easter operation. It's bigger than the hunger strikers. And I know it might be hard for you to understand, but I don't do this for fun. I don't do this for love. And I do it for love for my daughter, but I don't do it for money gains or anything else. You know, I look at life logically. You know, I sit and I do the sums. I work out. It's not easy to work out what's going on. Tommy has been told if the film isn't taken down. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. They're going to have to take it down. When both sides are brave enough to speak up, it's serious. Yeah, John, I'm on comments, mate. Go back on comments. I am. What's up, John? We are one. Did you see video from Kai? Okay, sorry. I need to stop. Lad with knife, Conor McGregor shared the video. I have no. You could even Sparky slept in. That's no problem, mate. It's even bigger than Trump rallies, guys. Let's get this back on the live, guys. Sorry, I've just had some neat. The truth is the first casualty in this situation. Anybody coming on, guys, you need to go back away because I'm not going through all that again. I'm really pissed off, because do you know what? I got about 5 or 6 messages, right? 4 of them, 6, 4 of them were telling me, what was going on. 2 of them were saying you were bang on. Because I know this is what happens. This is what they do. They trigger. Whenever things don't go the way they want, they trigger stuff, you know, and they use people that's in our communities, people that are already here, that have been compromised, you know. Do people forget about Keir Starmer when he worked for the CPS? He left his best policy. Now Keir in control of the UK. Yeah, Keir's not in control of the UK. Just like Biden wasn't in control of the Americans. Guys, if you still think that Parliament over there in control, you're nuts. I'm angry every day, seriously. Thanks, Kathy. But no, the thing is, the Catholics, they're taking the flags and all down. That's no big deal. See, because what's happened is, this is what's happened. The videos went out today. The first video was just like, this is, you know what I mean? This is just like Manchester Airport. Remember whenever that guy got a boot in the head and all the Muslims went off their nut? And then the other video came out, right? So I've been saying all along to watch out for videos like this because they're going to use that. They've learned from that. The establishment have learned from that. They've seen how the Muslims got riled up because that guy getting kicked in the head. You know what I mean? And then when the real footage came out of what actually happened of the guy, what allegedly, right? I have to say that allegedly. But when the footage came out, you seen the difference. You seen how everything changed. So yeah, we got to be careful for things like that. And like I say, you know, it's not about Catholics throwing at buses and kids fighting in the street and murals getting done. We've had all that done. We understand that. You know what I mean? There is always going to be that thing. But there was organisation in this one. This was organised. This was sanctioned. Okay, and we know what's going on. We're not stupid. I've been saying this all along. The more we push together and come together to strengthen what we need to do to get the right politicians to keep this country safe, the more flack we're going to get from above. People like me, there's going to be people that are going to be infiltrating. They're going to do stuff against us. We're going to have a hard time. Believe me, I've had it. I've been doing this 9 months now. I've been involved in patriotism for the last 15 years, but I've only come online, and it's hard work. You've got a lot of people coming at you from a lot of directions. And you need to have a lot of really thick skin to go. I'm scared we are going to get them. We're stuck in the middle. You know, it's an open border, guys. It's an open border. I came from Scotland down to Liverpool, crossed on the boat over to Belfast, Bangor, up over in the Dublin, Limerick, Dublin, back to Belfast, and not one but the ID. Right, so we know the SNP are letting them in willy-nilly. We know what's coming in England. So you got to understand, there's cities in in England that's predominantly Muslim, and they're well established. So they've got control of everything with the grooming gangs. They've got 50 cities up in Britain. You know, they're doing that. They're taxi drivers. They're working the kebab shops. You know, easy pickings. And then they've got all these more coming in. You've got like 1,000 a week at some stages coming in, undocumented men. Muslim men, majority Muslim men, undocumented fighting AIDS men coming in, and they're going, oh, because you got to understand, these places are already established. You know, it's like the criminal or the gang world. You can't just go in another gang's area. So what do? You go and find an area that doesn't have a gang. They're going into Ireland. Ireland's had enough. You can see what's going on in Ireland now. I'm not saying they're going to push anybody into here, but if there's no border, who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them coming from England if they can just come from England to here? Who's going to stop them if they're just coming from Ireland? It's not England's fault. It's not Ireland's fault. It's the people at the top's fault. So what do? Do we still keep on throwing stones at each other? Keep on throwing murals? Keep on picking and anybody getting caught? That's the kind of thing that's happening. You know what I mean? I get caught in the Albert Road on the bridge coming over East Belfast from a short strand, the Markets boys. Where are you from? I'm like, you're on my road. You know, and they're like, name me a street. And I knew all the streets. I'm from South Belfast, East Belfast. It's right in between the markets, you know what I mean? And I couldn't remember. I nearly got kicked to death. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for a guy, the last thing I seen was a guy opening the door and his foot going on the ground, and I was out in the hospital for a couple of days, or I can't remember even how long I was in hospital. I've got my arm broken, been done silly, but that's the way it was. You know what I mean? Stupid for getting caught. But that's this 80s and the 90s, guys. It's just 2025. You know what I mean? And really, guys, you're sending your young boys out in 2025, organised like that, to attack loyalist areas, looking militant. You know how that looks to people. You know what reaction you're going to get from that. So what's next? What's next? What's the next trigger that's going to come? Because you aren't, at the end of the day, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for now? That's the question you need to ask yourselves. What exactly do you want? Do you want an all Ireland? Because right now Ireland's getting filled of like all sorts of people. Everybody in Ireland's complaining like mad right now. That you can go to Donegal and you can hear a lot of horrific things. We just had a church burnt down, or a chapel just burnt to the ground. A woman walking down the street, some guy went to take her child. There's women being abused all over the country right now. So you're fighting for that. Why don't you go and fight for them instead of fighting us for that? It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Well, we're not even interested in union right now. Look at the state of it. What? Are you serious? Look at the state of England right now. Even the English are leaving. Scotland's going to be independent in the next 3 years. 110% Scotland will be independent. No two ways about it. The amount of immigration that Scotland's bringing in, the SNP, that's their plan. Their plan is to get as many in so they can vote for them. That's what Labour were trying to do, but the reform's going to stop that. But reform are just another Labour. I'm saying stuff that you loyal guys that have been here from the start already know. You've done 500 videos, guys. It's like, saying the same stuff over and over again. But the general consensus is, please do not let the establishment use us, guys, who have went through so much in the last 40, 50 years. Let's not fall at the last hurdle, guys. We're nearly there. And we're not giving nothing up. None of you are giving anything up, right? But we're not getting destroyed, right? We're not gaining anything. We're not giving anything up, but we're not getting destroyed. That's the most important thing. Let's make sure we sort ourselves out first. Let's sort our country out first. And then let's talk about what we're going to do next. Because everybody around us is letting us down. The EU is failing Ireland. The so-called union is failing hugely over there. Hugely. I could bring you stats that would break your heart if you were a unionist, Right, so anybody that's got any influence at all on any side, the kind of things I'm asking you right now is talk to your community leaders, talk to the kids. Tell them there's a bigger picture, there's a bigger problem that they don't understand, but we've got to do this for them, And I know it's difficult. I know we're going to have our tribal stuff, but we're used to that, guys. We're not going to start a war over a couple of kids throwing stones at each other. You know what I mean? But when it's organised the way it is, and it's being sent about in TikTok, the way it was done, it was planned. I promise you, it was out. It was filmed from different angles, and then it was all the black. And then there's another couple of videos that I seen that just reminded me of when I was young and how the power multis used to work when I was a wee boy. You know, the SDP, the SDP is something that is I agree with, and I support in anything I can do to help. It's a Scottish thing. You know what I mean? That's what you're talking about. There's a lot of political parties sound the same. You know what I mean? There's the ADF as well. As a former Sinn Féin supporter, the war with loyalism is over. Thank you, Frank. Thank you so much for that. I'd like, to be honest with you guys, the money, it's a lot of money going about right now, you know what I mean? And you always got to follow the money, and at the end of the day, in my eyes, like, in my experience, like, most loyalists, like real loyalists, this is a wee personal thing that I can give to you. They weren't flashy. Some of them didn't even drive. They didn't wear designer gear, you would never notice them. They didn't stand out, and you could never have followed the money and found them guys. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I know you had guys like that. You Republican guys had that like that as well. But I also know there was collusion going on. I also know that the British government both worked hand in hand at top levels on both sides. A lot of questions need to be asked about a lot of things that's happened, but I'm not going to go into that because it's not right. That's something that we need to talk about later on. Later on, maybe our kids can talk about that when we're all not here. Because there's a lot of secrets that we all know that we can't talk about, but maybe our kids will be able to talk about it when we're all not here, and then they can all sit down and sort it out themselves, because we're not looking for like a united Ireland or peace and all that. We're just wanting to be able to come together and talk and sort things out that are even bigger than what we've been dealing with. That's all we want to do. We're not wanting anybody to give and unpaint your murals and stop walking, parading, whatever parade you're in, Easter or 12th of July. Fucking brilliant. Why would you do that? All this time, all that history, what we've been through, all our dead, our brothers, our loved ones who we've lost on both sides, and we're just going to forget about it? Are we fuck? You know what I mean? We're bigger than that. We are a lot bigger than that. We are Northern Ireland. We are Northern Ireland, and we will get the support from the South. And you know why? You've got to understand this as well. And this is important, guys, because this is how big this is. There's men in England and Scotland and Wales that might one day need to come here. Other Christians that might need to come here. And we need to have the space for them, men. Okay? And I know Irish men that agree with me. So if the Irish men up there in the Republic were use dissidents, for want of a better word, because I don't even know who you are. Well, we know who you are. You just can't leave it alone. You know what I mean? You just cannot leave it alone. It's in your heart. I know that. It's like the Braveheart thing, and that's what I honestly. It looks mad. It's starting to look crazy. It really is. It's like the Braveheart, the bagpipes and all that, and fighting in the kilts and going over the hills. It's because it's that long ago. You know what I mean? Not so long ago with some of our stuff, but it is a long time ago, guys. Still, you know what I mean? And like I say, I'm not asking you to forget anything, but it's a bigger picture. But like, I honestly say to all you guys out there, please do what you can. If there's guys high up in the dissidents or in any of the communities that are creating situations, then we know what they're up to. We know who they're working for, and we know why they're doing it. They're traitors to this country. They don't care what's going to happen to this country. They're going to see this country fall, or they maybe not see it fall because they don't care. They're not going to be here, or they don't have kids. I don't know. Or maybe they just don't care about their kids, or really they just didn't care about the land and Ireland as much as they thought or said. Maybe it's just all about the money and being able to be the big man in the area. Who knows? Because anybody right now that isn't focusing on sorting this country out and make sure it's safe for our children, then, we can see right through you. And you're going to stand out even more as we go forward, because please believe me, you are going to shrink. And we're going to grow. We are going to grow. The communities will grow. These protests that you're seeing in Belfast and Dublin, it will grow. It will get massive and massive and massive. And you're going to be left outside on your own in a small wee group of haters. Sorry, guys. I need to get this out while it's in my head. You know what I mean? Or because it's been really difficult, because it's been an absolute roller coaster just with this. And it scares me because it's, I have to be careful what I say, but I'm going to say this. This is a warning and appeal to all communities. Please be aware of this. All Protestant areas that are building your bonfires, you need to have men out every single night. There's no two ways about it, because this is the kind of thing that these haters who just want to cause a lot of problems for us are going to send these young men out. We've had it, we used to burn our own bonfires, but this is different now. We done it because we were in competition. So you need to guard your bonfires from now on, 110%. If your bonfire is unguarded and it goes up, it's your own fault, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Okay, simple as that. Like I say, we're Protestants, you are Catholics. Be proud to be a Catholic. I'm proud to be a Protestant. The only difference is between me and you is 4 or 5 Bibles is in the book that we disagree on. We're Christians. Jesus died on the cross for our sins. He rose in Easter. You know what I mean? It's like, what? We had 60 Christians beheaded in Africa 4 or 5 weeks ago. There's Christians being killed in Syria. We've sent at 50 million we sent to Syria to this guy that took over Syria. The guy was on the FBI most wanted list, and our government just gave him 50 million. And I don't know whether it's him, but in Syria, we've a lot of Christians got unalived, along with other religions that didn't suit this particular religion, whether it's Wahhabi, whether it's Sunni, I'm not 100% sure, or Shia, I don't know which ones it is, but whatever one's dominant doesn't like anybody else that's not them, and there's a lot of horrific things going on. Some of the stuff that's went on in England, I can't speak to you about. There's some of the things that happened to them young girls I cannot tell you on this channel. If you want to know the truth of what's going on in England to them young girls, you can do your research. I don't advise you to do it because it is horrific. Just like ISIS in Iraq and Syria, the way they took terrorism to another level. We thought we were terrorists. They already thought they were terrorists. We're Mickey Mouse terrorists compared to these guys. So they want different ideas of how to unalive people. These guys in England, these grooming gangs, had all different ideas of how to abuse children. And that's the truth of it. And it's horrific. Some of the stuff is horrific. And that's what concerns me. I want to bring my wee Lucky over here one day because I know my Lucky's going to have no choice but to come back home whether our mother likes it or not. Because that's the future. That's the way it's going. Research it. How many mosques are in England? England used to be a Christian country. The king is he's meant to be the top man of Christian faith. He says more about Islam than he does about the Christianity. They almost forgot about Easter there because they were too busy putting up decorations for Ramadan. Do you know that we are the only country in the world, and when I say country, I'm talking about England. England was the only country in the world to put decorations up for Ramadan. The only country in the world. What is going on, guys? This is a Christian country. Not one single Muslim country has put any decorations up. I want to finish with this, guys, because it's been a really long day, and I just wanted to get this out because I know the guys will watch this, and I know some of you will share it and all the rest of it. Hi, James. I know these are their guys. Colin, all right, brother. Yeah. I've lost my thing. See, I just spotted my brother. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So the last thing I want to finish with, guys, is the situation with the Republican side of things right now, and their attitude towards the Palestinians and how they're standing next to them at our counter demos when we're demonstration about the Islamification and the threat to our children of what we're seeing in England, and they're coming out and counter demonstrating us when we're not even talking about Palestine. We haven't even mentioned Palestine. We haven't even mentioned Israel. It's got nothing. We don't care. We don't care about Russia, Ukraine. We care about our country, and we got IRA men, Sinn Féin members. They're not only standing there with Palestinian flags, they're also stopping their community coming out to stand with us. They're already mixed community. So what I'm going to say is this: there's a million people left over there that need placed. Okay. Now I know that the SNP are prepared to take them, and I know Sinn Féin are quite happy to take them. All I'm going to say this to the Catholic community: I can guarantee you the Protestant community will not allow this in their areas. There's no way. But what I'm listening to on the streets, because we're seeing churches being taken over and turned into mosques, and I don't think we have the stomach for that over here. What I'm hearing on the streets, guys, and I don't know about yous, but yous need to start speaking to the people in your areas. If you do not have the right people to represent you, you have to get the right people to represent you. There's no more time. We cannot be afraid of the power multitudes any longer, guys. No matter, and I know it's very, very difficult, but this is time. This is the time when we have to stand up. If they're going to kill you for standing up for your children, then they have to live with that. They have to live with that in their communities. Okay, always remember that, because you're not hateful. We're not hating each other. I'm not here to hating anybody. I'm only telling you what I'm seeing logically, what's on the streets in our Belfast city centre, what's going on in some of these areas in West Belfast and our down Ballymurphy. You know all the areas. You know all who you are. You can't leave it alone. You can't just set it down for five. Set it down for five and have a wee chat with us. You know what I mean? Let's look at the picture, you know, because you're either, this is what's happening, right? This is what it's going to look like to everybody. And this goes to both Protestants and Catholics that are still active in paramilitary. If you keep going forward with this attitude, you're going to look like you're working for the state. If you're going to keep on trying to destroy us coming together and stopping what's going to come from either surrounding us, because what else are they meant to do? They're just taking them out of hotels and they're putting them in the houses now. Their own people are sleeping on the street. Veterans can't even get a house. And these men are coming in the boats, throwing away their documents and getting houses. How long do you think before they're coming here? Because there's only so many they can take. There's only so many Ireland can take. They've got a quota to take, you know. Even Frad's is saying one in, one out. So you've got to understand this. If you're going to keep on going down this road with this rhetoric and trying to divide the community of this country so we can't be strong enough to stop what's coming, then you're part of the problem. Both of you. You are part of the problem. Why you are pretending to protect and defend our nations and our countries? You are destroying it. And very, very soon, every single man in this country will see it, and you are all going to stand up, stand out. So rather than stand out, stand up. I'm Freedom Dad. I'm not going to go into any comments because I'm quite emotional because I love this country so much, and you know, I love all these. The love I'm getting from you outweighs the hate. It really does. But I'm going to go. Because you know what I'm like. If you want to get in touch with me, anybody wants to reach out to me, anybody at all, if you've got a problem with me, fucking talk to me. Just don't shoot me in the back of the head. Give me fucking 10 minutes of your time. You know what I mean? I'm not bullshitting. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for my wee girl. I'm doing this for my wee Lucky. I'm doing it for your kids and your grandkids. I'm doing it for Ireland. But you IRA boys, I'm doing it for Ireland. I'm doing it for Ulster. I'm doing it for us all. I can't do any more for Scotland and England, guys. You know? But we can do so much together, but we're not going to do it alone. I'm Freedom Dad. God bless every single one of you.